Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, which is Yevamos Daf Yutes. We are in the midst of the sugya of Ishes Achiv Shloi Haya Bailamai. So Reuben passes away, Shimon then is born. We learned from a pasuk that Shimon, since he hadn't really experienced Reuben in his lifetime, look, the whole point of Yibum is to take over, to continue, to resume Reuben's household, to take over his marriage, so to speak. Now, Shimon never really lived together with Reuben at the same time. He doesn't have that ability to take over for Reuben, to be miyabim Rachel, who is Reuben's widow. We learned this from a pasuk, Yeshvu achem yachdav shehoisa lahem yeshiva achas ba'olam. Now, as we began yesterday, actually we have machlokes between Reb Shimon and the Chachamim. To what extent do we apply the halacha of Eishes Achiv, the wife of his brother, Shloi Haya Ba'alamai, who he did not live with him together at the same time? That Isha, that widow, is disqualified from Yibum. To what extent do we apply this halacha? According to Chachamim, in all cases, according to Reb Shimon, there is a limited application. In some cases, this halacha does not apply. So let's go down the cases. We have a simple, a straightforward case where Reuben passes away and then Shimon is born too late. Eishes Achiv Shloi Haya Ba'alamai. Certainly, according to all shittos, Rachel, Reuben's widow, is disqualified from Yibum. Shimon cannot approach her and do Yibum. That's pashut. What about if there were three brothers? Reuben passes away without children, leaving behind Rachel as a Yevama to Shimon, the surviving brother. Then, a new arrival comes into town. Levi is born and joins the family. Here we have a machlokes. According to Chachamim, even in this case, Levi never saw Reuben, so he cannot ever engage with Rachel, the wife of Reuben. Whereas according to Reb Shimon, we look at it differently. If Shimon, the surviving brother, who actually experienced Reuben in his lifetime, if he actually takes over and marries Rachel, Levi can now sort of ignore the fact that Rachel was previously married to Reuben. As far as he's concerned, Rachel is Shimon's wife, with whom he had a relationship. He saw Shimon. He lived with him at the same time. Therefore, says Reb Shimon, if Shimon passes away without children, now Levi can be miyabim, even Rachel, because she's now considered Shimon's wife, and no longer carries with her that history, that past history, being Reuben's wife as well. So as far as Levi is concerned, she's Shimon's wife. He doesn't have to reckon with the fact that she was once Reuben's wife. Now we have two possible scenarios in this regard. Reuben passes away without children, leaving behind Rachel. Shimon now is miyabim Rachel. And then Levi is born and finds Rachel married to Shimon. In this case, Rabbi Shimon says, Levi can be miyabim Rachel if and when Shimon dies without children, because as far as he's concerned, Rachel is Shimon's wife, not Reuben's. Even in this case, Chachamim disagree. No, the fact is he has to reckon with that prior history, the fact that she was once Reuben's wife, whom he didn't see. What about in the following case? Reuben passes away without children, leaving behind Rachel. He has a brother, Shimon. But before Shimon gets a chance to do anything to Rachel, Levi is born. So Levi arrived before Yibum. Noilad va'achakach Yibum. First Levi arrives, and then Shimon is miyabim Rachel, Reuben's wife. And then Shimon passes away without children. Even in this case, says Rabbi Yehuda, Rachel is mutter to Levi, according to Shitas Rabbi Shimon, despite the fact that he experienced her. He noticed her when she was not yet married to Shimon, when she was still identified with Reuben. Nevertheless, since Shimon took over for Reuben, he married Rachel. She's now considered Eishes Shimon, and Levi no longer has to reckon with the fact that she was once married to Reuben. So Rabbi Yehuda tells us that even in this case, Rabbi Shimon, his mater, allows Levi to take over, to be miyabim Rachel, Reuben's former wife, that was now married to Shimon, despite the fact that Levi arrived before she actually got married to Shimon. The fact that Shimon took over, she's now being relabeled. She now identifies with Shimon, not with Reuben, and Levi can proceed and be miyabim her if and when Shimon passes away. Now why? How does this work? So in the first case where Shimon married Rachel and then Levi arrives, I understand. Levi never saw her as Eshes Ruvain. As far as he's concerned, she's Shimon's wife. Okay, but what about in the case where he arrives, and then Shimon does Yibam? He saw her when she was in a widowed state. She was Eshes Ruvain. How can you ignore that fact? And then more tells us, well, apparently Reb Shimon holds Zika Keknusa, the fact that she was bound to Shimon. She was meant for him. We consider that as though she was actually married to him. So now when Levi arrives, even prior to Shimon's being Miyabim Rachel, she's considered Shimon's wife. And Levi doesn't have to reckon with the fact that she was once Reuven's wife, Reuven who he never saw. No, she's Shimon's Yevamos, she's Shimon's Zekuka, and Zika is Keknusa. It's as though she was actually married to Shimon. And now when Shimon passes away, he's free to do Yivam. He can just treat her as Eshes Shimon. Asks the Gemara. Let's go back a little bit to 11 lines from the bottom. Maske Flora of Yosef. How can you say that according to Reb Shimon? The mere fact that she was Zokuk, she was bound to Shimon, considers her to be married to him, as though she's Knusa. Maske Flora of Yosef asks Rav Yosef. Zika Mamar. Look, in the following bryce, we will see that according to Reb Shimon, even both elements, Zika being bound and obligated to be Mesiyabim to you, and also Mamar, which is a sort of Kiddushin, that a Yavam Meduta Yevama. That works with the Rabbanon, some sort of semi-connection there. Both elements together, both ingredients, Zika and Mamar. Reb Shimon, even then Reb Shimon is unsure, he has a suffix whether Ike Knusa Damya, Oilav Kiknusa Damya, whether or not we consider her to be completely married to him and connected to him. Even when both elements are present, Zika and Mamar. Zika l'chudam boye. Can you even contemplate that merely Zika, merely being bound to him, should be considered like Knusa? How can you say that? Where do we find this suffix according to Reb Shimon? In the following brayse. Mahi. Listen, we have a brayse, a Mishnah. Shloish Achen. 3 brothers. Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Nesuin, Shalish, Nashim, Nachriya is married to 3 unrelated Nashim. Reuven is married to Rachel. Shimon to Leah. Levi to Bilhah. Unrelated. Total strangers. Umeis Echad Mehem. Reuven passes away. V'asa Basheni Mamar. Shimon didn't get to do Yibam to Rachel Eshes Reuven, just Mamar, sort of a pseudo Kiddushin. Umeis, and then he passes away, leaving behind his own personal wife Leah, and also Rachel, who was somewhat involved with him. In this case, only Chalitza and not Yibam will take place. Why? Shanamar, the pasuk says, Umeis Echad Mehem. One of the brothers passes away. Yibam is fulfilled. And we learn, Rashi says this to Rabbanon, perhaps it's an asmachta. Misha zikas yavam echad. Only a Yivam who is bound to Yibam on one account. She has one reason for Yibam, her husband passed away. Then Yibam is applied, as opposed to a case where there are 2 reasons for Yibam, such as in this case. Rachel is bound to the sole surviving brother Levi on account of her first husband Reuven, who passed away without children, and also on account of Shimon, with whom she had some sort of relationship, the Mama relationship and Zika relationship. So now there are 2 reasons for her Yibam. She's disqualified from Yibam, and in this case, she and her tzara is affected as well, as Rashi explains. The whole household is affected. That is Shitas, Tanakama, Shitas Chachamim. Mamar makes some sort of semi-connection. But Rabbi Shimon Omer, no. He holds like this. One or the other. Either Mamar makes a full connection, we treat Rachel as though she's really married to Shimon, or there's no connection whatsoever. It's not a 50-50. It's not a pseudo-connection. It's not a miktsas connection. Either all the way or nothing. Rabbi Shimon Omer, therefore, we say like this. Miyabim le'ezehu men she'yirtze. Levi can do Yibam to any one of these women, Rachel or Leah, v'choyetz l'shniya, and does chalitza to the other one. So again, Reuben passed away, leaving behind Rachel, who had a mamar procedure done with Shimon. Shimon passes away, leaving behind his own personal wife, the veteran wife, Leah, and this new Yevama, Rachel, with whom he had some sort of interaction. Levi now does Yibum to one of them and Chalitza to the other. Why? Yibumi Tavarilo, you can't do Yibum to both. Assuming that they're both Shimon's wives, and in that case you only do one Yibum to the entire household and you exempt everybody. You can't do that. Maybe Rachel's not part of Shimon's household. The Dilma Yesh Zika. Sorry. You can't do Yibum to both. Yibum Tarvayu Lo, you can't do Yibum to both Rachel and Leah. Maybe she is part of his household, in which case you only do Yibum on one. The Dilma Yesh Zika, perhaps the fact that Rachel was bound to Shimon makes her connected to him, makes her as though she was married and entered his household. Now you have two women belonging to the same family, Rachel and Leah, where of course you only address one and the other one automatically is exempted. You never do Yibum to two Yevamis from the same family. So that's not an option. What about Yivum Ichada? Doing Yibum on one and exempting the other? That's not an option either. Because maybe Rachel is not part of this family. The Duma Ein Zika. Maybe we don't say Ein Zika Keknusa. We don't say the fact that she was bound to Shimon makes her connected to him, in which case she's not really part of Shimon's household. Rachel belongs to Reuven, and Leah is Shimon's Yevama. You have two Yevamis hailing from two households. Each one is to be addressed separately. And therefore says Reb Shimon, you know what? Do Yivam to either one, but do Chalitza to the other to address all possibilities. So that's the end of the Brisa, the end of the Machlokes Reb Shimon the Rabbanan. Now it pertains to us as follows. Alma, it's pretty clear that Masabkali, Reb Shimon is not sure how to treat Zika and, remember there's Zika and Mama here. Perhaps it doesn't really create a proper connection. So how can we say that according to Reb Shimon, Mir Zika is Kiknusa? Perhaps he'll say, Torah, Zika makes a proper connection. And that explains Reb Shimon, even if Reuven passes away. And then Levi is born, and only then is Shimon Miyabim, Rachel, Reuven's wife. No, Levi can just consider her as though she was Eshes Shimon all along because Zika Kiknusa. Perhaps that's how we look at it in HaTorah. In the case of the three brothers that we just discussed, Zika's total connection. So in which case, Reuven passes away, leaving behind Rachel, who is Zakuk to Shimon. And then Shimon passes away. Levi can be Miyabim one, and everything's okay. Because the fact that Rachel was Zakuk to Shimon makes her like his wife, part of his household, part of his mishpacha. In HaTorah, you take one Yibum and the other one is Pater. Umud the Rabbanon the Asr, it's only the Rabbanon that we don't allow it. Gzeira Mishum, we're concerned about a different case. Mishum Shema Yomru, perhaps people will extend this halacha elsewhere and apply it to a case of Beis Yevamos Habois Mishnei Batim. You have two Yevamos hailing from two families. And Rashi explains, two brothers who passed away simultaneously. You have Reuven and Shimon and Levi. Reuven had Rachel, Shimon had Leah. Reuven and Shimon died at the same time, the same moment. And now, Levi is faced with two potential Yevamis, Rachel and Leah. Right, brothers who live with each other, there's no issue of Lohei B'Lamai. Three brothers living together, Reuven and Shimon passed away at the same moment. Levi is now faced with Rachel, Reuven's wife, Leah, Shimon's wife. Now, since they died at the same moment, there's no Zika Kiknusa. You can't say, well, one of them is married to, it's as though she's married to Levi. Married to Shimon. And now Shimon passed away, leaving behind two wives. Reuven and Shimon passed away at the same moment. Right? So Rachel, who was Reuven's wife, and Leah, who was Shimon's wife, both fell to Levi at the same moment. There was no Zika to Shimon at all. If Reuven passes away, and Shimon and Levi are here, so you can say perhaps Rachel's wife is Zakuk, the Zika Keknusa to Shimon or to Levi. And then when Shimon passes away, says, he left behind 2 wives. His own wife, and Rachel, Reuben's wife, who was Zakuk to him. But not in this case, where Reuben and Shimon passed away at the same moment. So Rachel, who was Reuben's wife, was never Zakuk to Shimon. So now we have Rachel, who needs her Yibum, on account of being Reuben's widow. And we have Shimon's wife, who was Leah, who needs her own Yibum, on account of being Shimon's wife. 2 separate Yevamos from 2 separate households. But people might think, well, in this case as well, we'll say Zikuk Keknusa, and they're both sort of part of the same family. They're both sort of part of Shimon's family. And they'll say, Chada meyabma, we'll do Yibum to one, V'chada mifter v'vlei klum, the other one will be let go without anything. So on account of this possible confusion, we make a gzera and we say, you know what? Even in a case where they didn't die at the same moment. In our case of 3 brothers who passed away one at a time, where we could say Zikuk Keknusa. Reuben passes away, his wife Rachel is Zakuk to Shimon, as though she's married to Shimon. Now when Shimon passes away, it's as though he left behind 2 wives, Rachel and Leah, and really, we only have to address 1 out of the 2. Yevamos from the same household. But we're concerned about a gzera, a case where Reuben and Shimon will pass away at the same moment. In which case, Rachel, who was Reuben's wife, was never Zakuk to Shimon, he was gone at the same moment. So we have Rachel, Reuben's wife, Shimon, his own wife, Leah, both falling to Levi. Each one needs to be addressed separately. So in that case, you can't just do one and point to the other one. So on account of that case, we say, you know what, in all similar cases, we address both Yevamos. That's from the Rabbanan, B'ma'at Torah. In concept, of course, Zika is sufficient connection. And Zika is Keknus, and that explains Reb Shimon's Shita by Ishes Achav Shlo Yibay Lamei. Is that so? Can we suggest that pshat? Can't say that. Why? The time of the Reb Shimon, it's very clear from this brayso. The reason why Reb Shimon holds that we do Yibum to one and Chalitza to the other, in the case of the 3 brothers, Reuben passed away. Rachel was Zakuk to Shimon, who did Mama to her. And then he passes away, leaving behind his own personal wife, Leah, and Rachel, this Yevama. Reb Shimon says, do Yibum to one and Chalitza to the other. The reason why he holds that Shita is not because a Gzera, as we just explained. It's because he's not sure. He's not sure whether Zika and Mamar make a proper connection. He's a suffix. It's pretty clear that Reb Shimon's reason is based on the shaila of whether Mamar is a proper connection or not. If it's a proper connection, then Rachel is considered connected to Shimon and part of his household, in which case Levi only does even to one of those 2 Yevamos. On the other hand, maybe Zika and Mamar is not an effective connection. In which case, although Rachel did Mamar with Shimon, she doesn't identify with Shimon. She's still considered Reuben's wife. In which case, Levi is now faced with 2 Yevamos coming from 2 households. That's a fundamental question of the value of Mamar. The Sanya, as we find in the brayso itself. Shimon turns to him and he says, look, why are you disqualifying Rachel and Leah from Yibum and Chalitza? From Yibum. Why are you disqualifying them? Is Mamar an effective connection or not? If Shimon's Mamar to Rachel is considered a proper connection, then Eisha Sheni Hu Boyo. Then Rachel is considered Shimon's wife. Shimon leaves behind Rachel and Leah. In which case Levi now does Yibum to one. If Shimon's Mamar is not an effective connection, well then Rachel is still considered Reuben's wife. He's doing Yibum to Reuben's wife. You're okay. Do Yibum to one and Chalitza to the other. As we explained, we want to cover all possibilities. But don't disqualify them. It's either or. Apparently Chacham hold it's somewhere in the middle. Mamar is like some sort of miktsas connection. In any case, that seems to be the machlekes. But it's pretty clear that according to Reb Shimon, we have a suffix as to the value of Mamar with Zika. And how can you say that according to Reb Shimon, Zika kiknusa? Normally Abaye. Says Abaye to Rav Yosef. V'lo yishani lach. Can't you make a simple distinction? The big difference between our case and the case in the Mishnah there. V'lo yishani lach bein zikas yavam echad. When there's one yavam standing here, that zika is a proper commitment. It's personal. She's meant for him. You can say zika keknusa there. And that's the case of our Mishnah. By Eshes Achiv Shloihei Beilamai. Reuven passes away without children. Shimon is the sole surviving brother. Yavam Echad. She is zakuk to him, so that she connected to him. And now when Levi shows up, even before, even prior to Shimon's Yivam, Levi can treat her as though she's married to Shimon. There's only one Yavam. How can that be compared to the case of the other Mishnah? We had 3 brothers, in which case Rachel, Reuven's Almana, is now standing in front of 2 brothers. It's not personal. She doesn't really identify with either one. So in that case, perhaps Zika is not a proper connection. Perhaps the key Amar Shimon Zika Keknusa Damya. Perhaps when does Reb Shimon say Zika Keknusa? B'yavam Echad, when there's one brother. Avo b'shnei yavam, and when there are 2 brothers, it's different. Umi Shanei le Reb Shimon. Is there any difference between 1 and 2 according to Reb Shimon? By the time we find the bride, there's no difference. Klal on Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon presented a general klal when it comes to the halacha of Eshes Achiv Shloihei Beilamai. So we have Reuven, who passes away, leaving behind Rachel. Kol shehaleda. If Levi's arrival, kodemes l'nesuin, precedes Shimon marrying Rachel, Reuven's wife, lo yichol letzes, v'lo misyabemes, then when Shimon passes away, she's not roy for anything to Levi, because she was Reuven's wife, whom he didn't see. But nesuin kodim l'leida, but if Shimon is miyabem Rachel, Reuven's wife, before Levi arrives, then when Shimon passes away, Levi can treat her like Shimon's wife, Chalitza, Yibum, whatever goes. That's the brisa. Shall we not assume that we're speaking about only one brother who's available for the Yibum, Shimon? And still, what do we see? Reuven passes away, leaving behind just Shimon. Levi shows up. Levi is born before Shimon is miyabim. What does the brisa say? He can't do anything. So you see that even with one yavam, you don't say the fact that she was bound to him. We consider Rachel to be Shimon's wife, in which case Levi can ignore the fact that she was once Reuven's wife. No, we don't say that. Perhaps we're speaking that there are 2 potential yavamim, 2 brothers standing here. It's not personal. You don't say zika keknus. But what are you telling me that if it's only one brother? In this case, we say that she is connected to him. And even if this new brother arrives, before any Yibum is committed, then when Yibum is done by this brother Shimon, and then he dies, Levi can be Miyabim because he can treat her like she was merely Shimon's wife. Is that true? One Yavam is different? If that's the case, why didn't the Brisa just say it? When we're looking for a case where Rachel will then be able to proceed and marry Levi, the newly arrived brother, what do we say? It's in a case where Nesuin, Shimon's marrying Rachel, preceded Levi's being born. Then when Shimon passes away, Levi can treat her like Shimon's wife because he met her as Shimon's wife. That's the case where Levi can do Yibum after Shimon's passing. Why specifically in that case? The Brisa could have said a greater Chiddush. We could have made a distinction within the first case. First case being where Reuben passes away and Levi arrives before Shimon actually does the Yibum. We could have said, look, there's a difference based on circumstance. In that scenario, in that type of case, we have 2 variations. One case will be problematic. In one case, Levi can do the Yibum. But when do we say that Levi can't do Yibum after Shimon's passing to Rachel, who was formerly Reuben's wife? When Reuben passes away, he left behind 2 surviving brothers, Shimon and another brother. In which case, the Zika was not personal and wasn't considered like a proper connection to him. And therefore, when Levi arrived before anybody did Yibum, he has to relate to her as though she was Reuben's wife. But if there's only one surviving brother who's a potential Yavam candidate, even if Levi is born before anybody does Yibam, she's considered connected to him. This is though she's Shimon's wife, and then when Shimon passes away, Levi has to treat her as such and can do Chalitza or Yibam. Apparently it's not true. Even with one brother, we don't say Zika Keknusa. Kula b'shnei Yevamin kamayr. No, the Brisa was just trying to present the case of two Yevamin, which is a greater Chiddush. Even then we say, well, in some cases, according to Rabbi Shimon, there's no concern of Eshes Zachar Shloi Ba'ilama, in a case where one of those two brothers did Yibam before Levi was born. So we're trying to highlight this Chiddush, speaking about a case of two Yevamin, but perhaps, in reality, if there was only one Yavam, in which case the Zika is personal, so Reuben passes away, Rachel is meant for Shimon and only for Shimon, perhaps in this case we'll say Zika Keknusa. And even if Levi is born at this moment, right now, he will be free to be Miyabim, this Isha, this Rachel, once Shimon does the Yibam and he passes away. Really? Velamai Klala. So why does the Brisa say, you know what, I'll give you a Klal, when it works, when it doesn't. Depends when Levi was born. Before Shimon was Miyabim, problem. After Shimon was Miyabim, fine. Pretty clear that if he was born before Shimon was Miyabim, that's a problem. Even if it's only one brother. You give me a klal. Straightforward, all-encompassing klal. This is the way it works. Apparently, even if it's just one brother there, the Zika is not considered a proper connection. In which case, if Levi arrives before he does the actual Yibam, we don't say Zika Keknus, and he has to treat her like Reuven's wife. So that's one kasha of Oishi who tells us that according to Reb Shimon, even in this case, of Noilad Va'acha Kach Yibam, meaning if Reuven passes away, Shimon is the surviving brother, but then Levi is born before Shimon proceeded with the Yibam. Noilad Va'ach Kach Yibam, according to Reb Shimon, says Reb Oishi. According to Reb Shimon, he can treat her like Eisha Shimon, and when Shimon passes away, he's free to do Yibam. We have a problem. We have a Brisa which doesn't indicate as such. V'oid, here comes another kasha, Moser of Oishi. So Taisa says before it's Rabbi Oishia, now it's Rabbi Oishia, apparently two Amirayim, who will ask a kasha. Rabbi Oishia will ask a kasha on Rabbi Oishia. We have halacha as follows: Gimel Achen, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Shnai mehen nesun shtei achayis. Reuven and Shimon are married to sisters, Rachel and Leah. Oy ish obita, or mother and daughter. So Reuven's married to the mother, Shimon to the daughter. Oy isha ubaspita, or a mother and a granddaughter. Oy isha ubaspina, or an isha and the son, the daughter of her son. Another version of a grandchild. Harei luchiltzis le'misyabmis. So now when Reuven and Shimon pass away, Reuven was married to one sister, Shimon to the other, or Reuven was married to a mother and Shimon to a daughter, or Reuven was married to a grandmother, and Shimon to a granddaughter. In this case, the surviving brother here can't do anything. Why can't he do anything? Because they're both zokuk to him, they're both bound to him. Mother and daughter. Two sisters, mother and grandmother and granddaughter. So either way, he's stuck. He can't be miyabim either one because it's a karev, a relative to his zekuka. In case of the two sisters, Rachel is a sister of Leah who's also zokuk to me and sort of somehow connected to me. It's almost like my wife's sister. So he's stuck. You do chalitza, not yibum. Reb Shimon poiter. According to Reb Shimon, there's no chalitza either. Rashi brings, it's based on a pasuk coming up. So if both Yevamos are here and they're relatives, they're both off the table. That is the halacha. How does it pertain to us? Very pashut. If we say that according to Reb Shimon, being bound to me for Yibam is considered a proper connection, as also she's mamish married to him. So what's the problem with the two sisters? Reuven died first. Rachel was zakuk to me first. She's my wife. Let me do Yibam to the first one. Let the other one go away. Let the other sister be pater. She's an erva to me. Because Rachel is considered my wife. Zika kiknus. Amram, you're right. My poiter nami. When Reb Shimon says poiter b'shnia, he means the second one to fall is potter. Reuven and Shimon. Reuven was married to Rachel. Shimon married to Leah. Reuven died first. Rachel now is zakuk to the surviving brother. Zikuk Knusa. She says, oh, she's my wife. Now when Shimon passes away, leaving behind Leah, sister, my wife, she goes away scot-free. That's all he meant. And it's based on Zikuk Knusa. You can't say that. Vatanya Shimon Poiter b'shtein. Shimon clearly says both sisters are potter. Amarava. No. What happened was that these two brothers, Reuven and Shimon, married all these pairs. Two sisters, mother and daughter, mother and granddaughter. Each one had 3-4 wives. Reuven was married to Rachel, Shimon to Leah, a sister. Reuven was married to a mother, Shimon was married to a daughter, etc., etc. When Shimon says Poiter b'shtein, the second one, he means Shnia shebezug zeh v'shnia shebezug zeh. The second one's going down the piers. The second sister that fell is potter because the first one is bound to the Yavam, says, oh, she's married to him, the second one goes free. The second one of the mother and daughter pair, whichever one was neifel second, is potter, and so on and so forth. Shnia shebezug zeh, v'shnia shebezug zeh. And this is consistent. This is in line with Reb Shimon. That's Zikuk Knusa. The first one that fell, Chaptarain, is connected. The other one goes free, being a relative of my wife. Says the Gemara, no, but it's not so. Katoy Rava bar Zugi. Rava mistakenly learned the Mishnah there as follows. He thought that there were 4 pairs of Nashim married to these two brothers, mother, daughter, sisters, etc. And therefore, when it says Shtein, it means the second one to fall. It's not so. Chada, number 1. The Oy Ketani. Mishnah clearly says it's either this or that, either 2 sisters or mother and daughter. It wasn't all at the same time. V'oid, another kash. Reb Shimon poiter bar batim leboile. Instead of Shimon say the second one is potter, which leaves room for confusion. What's the second one? What's going on? He should have just said, we have 4 pairs of women, sisters, mother and daughter, mother and granddaughter. Those 4 are potter. The 4 women, the ones that fell second, liyibam, are all potter. When you say Shtein, it can mean the second one, it can mean both. We're not sure what Shtein means. We're speaking about 4 sets of women. Should have said Reb Shimon is exempting all 4 second ones. And here comes the punchline. V'oi Tanya. We have a brayso that explains Reb Shimon clearly. We see where he's coming from. Reb Shimon poiter b'shtein min chalitza min ha'yibam. Both sisters are potter from chalitza and yibam shene'amar v'isha l'choysa leitzikach litzra. Based on a pasuk. Litzra means companion wives. So the drasha is, at times you have 2 Yevamos falling together. They're sort of companions, and they're 2 sisters, such as in our case. Reuven was married to one sister, Shimon to the other, and they both passed away, and Levi is now faced with 2 Yevamos who happen to be sisters. We learn from a pasuk they're both exempt from Yibam or Chalitza. They're disqualified. B'shah shanasu tzores zulazu. If they presented themselves as Yevamos in a tzara context, 2 sisters falling together from 2 brothers, lo yehelecha lekuchen afil ba'achas man. You can't apply to even to either one. Reb Shimon clearly states his opinion, states his position. That when you have 2 Yevamos who happen to be relatives, both are exempt. What do you mean? Zikuk Knusa. Let the first one be connected and the other one set free. Clearly, Reb Shimon does not subscribe to Zikuk Knusa. One second. Not so fast. Elam Ravashi, I'll give you a teretz. Who's to say how it happened? You're assuming Reuven passed away first, and Rachel was Knusa, and then Shimon comes and passes away. No! Who's to say it happened incrementally? If they both fell one at a time, of course it would work. The first one is in and the second one is out. And we're speaking the nafal b'vasachas. Both Yevamos felt the same exact moment. None of them got in before the other. Zikuk Knusa is not applicable. Reb Shimon follows Rabbi Yehuda who says, you can work it out that it works exactly at the same moment. We have to take into account such a possibility. Based on the Gemara, B'cheres, two animals are born at the same moment. It can happen that two things will happen at the same very moment. And that's why you can't do even to either one, but if it happened incrementally. First Reuben passes away, and Rachel is now Zika Keknusa to Levi, and then Shimon passes away, leaving behind Leah, the other sister. Leah is exempt. So we don't really have a kasha from here on Rav Hoshia. Perhaps Rav Shimon does hold of Zika Keknusa, which was the basis of his sheet. But we did have one kasha, if you remember, back from that other brisa, which seemed to indicate otherwise, because we had a klal, according to Rav Shimon. The only way we can get around Eishes Achiv Shelo Yehoye B'Olamei is if Shimon first marries Reuben's wife and then Levi is born, which would indicate that if it happened the other way around, Levi was here before Shimon actually took Rachel in, it would be a problem. Apparently we did not hold of Zika having the value of Keknus, and that's the only remaining kasha which we hadn't really resolved. That's the only kasha on Rav Aisha. But now we have a dissenting view. Rav Papa Amar, he disagrees. He says, you know what? I disagree with Rabbi Yehuda as per Shitas Reb Shimon. B'yibim va'achkach noilad polag Reb Shimon. Reuven passes away, Shimon is miyabim Rachel, and then Levi is born, and then Shimon passes away. Levi can be miyabim Rachel Eishes Shimon, because as far as I'm concerned, I never saw her as Reuven's wife. I treat her as Shimon's wife. But if Shimon had not done Yibum by the time Levi arrives, Noilad, and then Shimon is Miyabim, and Levi saw her as being Reuben's widow, he treats her as such. Shimon will not disagree. It's considered Eishes Achiv Shelo Yehoye B'Olamei. The question was, if so, why do we have two Mishnahs? First Mishnah, the Perek speaks about Noilad va'achach Yibem. Mishnah 2 speaks about Yibem va'achach Noilad. If this is true that according to Reb Shimon, by Noilad va'achach Yibem, which is the circumstance in the first Mishnah, Levi born and then Shimon is Miyabim, Rachel, Reuben's wife. Even Reb Shimon agrees to the Chacham that she's Aser, then why even mention that case? But Tavai l'Rabbanan Itzrich, both cases are meant for the Rabbanan. Then in both cases it's Asr. So you'll ask me, why do you have to mention both cases? Say the greater Chiddush, and automatically you know the other one. Just state case number 2. Yibem va'achach noilad. Well, even in that case, Rabbanan says Asr, that's a great Chiddush. Just say that case. Even if Shimon was Miyabim Rachel, and then Levi is born, it's still Asr, because Levi has to address her prior history and treat her like Reuven's wife. That's a tremendous Chiddush. Suffice with that. Why even mention that first case where Levi was born before the Yibum? Both are needed according to Rabbanan, employing the formula called Veloizu Asu Katani. Mishnah is presenting the cases incrementally. Not only in this case is it Asr, not only in the lesser Chiddush case, even in the greater Chiddush case where Shimon was Miyabim and then Levi was born, even in that case it's Asr. Okay, so that's why we have two cases. Tanya Kavasar Rav Papa, now we're going to prove Rav Papa's Shita. That what? That even according to Rav Shimon, if Levi was born prior to Shimon's Bimiyabim Rachel Eishes Ruvain, he can't ignore that fact. He has to treat her as Eishes Ruvain, and when Shimon passes away, she's Asr till him. The Ziyufta of Rabbi Aisha, and it's going to be a refutation of Rabbi Aisha, who indicated otherwise. Here comes the Brisa, which will feature 3 clauses, 1, 2, and 3. Shnei Yachim Ba'olam Echad. Reuven and Shimon live together. Umeis Echad, man, Reuven passes away, but Lev Lad without children. V'amad Sheini Yazeh. La says Mamar B'Vimtei, and Shimon was about to do Mamar to Rachel, Eishes Reuven, V'lo Hispek Lasis by Mamar. Before he got around to it, Ad Shenil Le'ach, suddenly Levi, Mazel Tov, Levi shows up. Umeis and Shimon passes away, so no Mamar was done. What happens now? Rishona, Rachel, the first Yevama, is unsuitable to Levi because Levi and Reuben had no relationship. It was Lo Yehoye B'Olamei. Yoytze Mishum Eishes Achiv Shelo Yehoye B'Olamei. So he can't be Miyabim Rachel Ushniya, the second wife, meaning Leah, who was actually Shimon's wife, well, she's a simple Yevama, because Levi and Shimon saw each other. You do either chalitza or yibum. So clause number 1 involves a case where there was no mamar done. Straightforward, simple case. Reuven passes away, leaving behind Rachel. Then Shimon passes away, leaving behind his own wife Leah. Levi, who actually arrived, right? So Reuven passes away, and Levi was born at that point. Then Shimon passes away. Levi can be miyabim Leah, Shimon's wife, but has to ignore Rachel, Reuven's wife. Here comes case number 2, where there was a mamar done between Shimon and Rachel, Reuven's wife. Also a mamar. Reuven passes away. Shimon does mamar to Rachel. And as we explained, mamar is some sort of semi-connection. And then Levi is born. Or alternatively, Levi is born, and then Shimon does mamar to Rachel. Umeis, and Shimon passes away. Levi can't do anything to Rachel because she was married to Reuven, who was Lehi by Lamai. In this case, all agree because she never actually married Shimon. So Levi treats her as Eshes Reuven. And the other one, Leah, who was Shimon's wife, is somewhat affected by Rachel because there was a mamar which sort of connected her to the household of Leah. So she's not exempt completely, but Chalitza is done with no yibum. This is Shita as Chachamim. Reb Shimon Eimer, he disagrees. He says, look, Maimer is either all or nothing, as we explained earlier. And therefore, Bi'asa ichalitzasa shel achas mehem poter sarasa. If he does Bia or Chalitza to one of them, and as he's going to explain in a second, we're speaking about which one, Leah, the veteran, Bia or Chalitza to her exempts Rachel. Why? Because Mimanavshach. Is Rachel part of his household? So we have Rachel and Leah coming from the same brother, from Shimon. So Bia or Chalitza to Leah exempts the entire household. If Rachel is not really connected to Shimon because Mamre is not a connection whatsoever, so Rachel is still considered Reuven's wife, in which case she's totally disqualified from Yibum to Levi, who never saw Reuven. But Leah, Shimon's veteran wife, is a regular Yevamos to Levi, because Levi and Shimon lived together. So the Bia Chalitza to Leah is the best way to go. It exempts herself, it exempts Rachel, but Cholas Labalas Mamar, should he do Chalitza to Rachel, who got Mamar done to her through Shimon, that's not so pashut. We get into problems. Say, Lenifter Sarah, we can't say that Leah is now exempted because perhaps Mamar doesn't accomplish a proper connection, in which case Rachel didn't really enter Shimon's household through that Mamar. She's still identified with Reuven. So Rachel is coming from Reuven, Leah is coming from Shimon, and the Chalitza to Rachel can't be applied to, can't exempt Leah. So if he does something to Leah, that takes care of everything. But if he does something to Rachel, it's not going to address Leah. Okay, it's a side point. So we're done with case number 2 in the Brisa. So there was a mamar done. Case number 1, there was no mamar. Case number 2, Shimon did mamar. Here comes case number 3. He did Yibum. Reuven passes away, and Shimon does Yibum to Rachel, Reuven's wife. Kansa, he did Yibum. Umeis, and then Shimon passes away. And then Levi is born. So we have Yibem va'achach noilad. Or shenoilad le'ach, Levi is born, va'achach kansa, and then Shimon marries Rachel. Umeis, and Shimon passes away. What does Levi do? Rachel and Leah are parted from everything. Why? Because Rachel identifies with Reuven, who never saw Levi. What about the third case here? Kansa. So we have 3 variations in this last clause of the Brisa, which discusses Yibum, that was actually done to Rachel, and a brother being born. We have 3 possible variations. Yibum and then born and then Yibum, and now comes the third case. Kansa v'noed le'ach. Shimon did Yibum to Rachel, and then a brother is born. V'achach meis, and then Shimon passes away. leaving behind his own personal wife Leah, and Rachel, who he was miyabim. So we have a case of kanas v'achach noilad. In the first case, it was kanas, and then he died, and then a new brother was born. Certainly, he didn't see this Levi brother, didn't see Reuven or Shimon. Certainly, us. Or in the case where noilad v'achach yibim, he was born, and then Shimon was miyabim. So Levi actually saw Rachel standing. She was stranded. She was Eshes Reuven. Us. But in this third case, we have a machlekes. Kansa v'noilad loyach. Shimon was miyabim Rachel. He took it over. And then Levi was born. And then Shimon passes away without children, leaving behind Rachel and Leah. According to Rameh, which is basically a reflection of the Divrei Chachamim, even this is considered loy b'lamay, despite the fact that Shimon took over. He married Rachel, and then Levi was born. Doesn't matter. She was once married to Reuven, who didn't see Levi. Loy b'lamay. So she's asur on the tzara as well. A tzaras error. Rabbi Shimon Omer, no, here comes Rabbi Shimon. In this specific case, Levi can be miyabim. Why? Rabbi Shimon Omer, since when Levi arrived, he found Rachel already married to Shimon. As far as I'm concerned, she's Shimon's wife. And she never presented herself to Levi be'isr. She never identified with Reuven. As far as Levi is concerned, miyabim le'ezim and sheyirtza oicholetz le'ezim and sheyirtza. He's free. Levi is free to do chalitza or yibum to either one, Rachel or Leah. This is the only case where according to Reb Shimon, Levi can proceed and do yibum. Because remember, it was kanas, it was yibim, v'achach noilad. So now we're going to prove Rav Papa's shita that only in this case. In fact, the Brisa separates the cases and sort of highlights this case as being the only case where Reb Shimon allows it. He's going to prove Rav Papa's shita. That only in this case where Levi first encountered Rachel as Shimon's wife, only in this case can he ignore the fact that she was once married to Reuven. Why even mention this third variation of this clause of the Brisa? Right, we have three parts to the Brisa. No mamar, yes mamar, actual yibum. And in the case of actual yibum, we have three variations. 1, 2, and 3. Number 3 being a case where Shimon did the yibum, then Levi was born, and then Shimon passed away. Why even mention it? To highlight whose shita are we bringing in this case? Is it to bring out Rameya's shita, who says in all cases asur, asur, asur? Let's analyze. It doesn't seem that according to Rameya there's any difference between this case and that case. The fact is, if Rachel was once married to Reuven, she can't marry Levi who never saw Reuven. Irrelevant of the exact situation. There's no difference between whether Shimon was meyabim and then Levi was born, or Levi is born and then Shimon was meyabim. It's irrelevant. If that's the case, why separate the cases? Why highlight that third case of Yibim v'achach noilad? L'ravinu l'sninu. In the third section of the Brisa, let's just mix together all three cases. In all situations, Rachel is off limits to Levi. Why separate? Apparently, we're trying to bring something out. Elo lavd Rab Shimon. Apparently, it's for Rab Shimon here. And it's coming to teach us, dafk in this case, it's mutar according to Rab Shimon. B'yibim v'achach noilad polak. Only if Shimon is miyabim and then Levi is born. No, does Rab Shimon allow Levi to be miyabim after Shimon's death? Ben noilad v'achach yibim le polak. But if Levi is born prior to Shimon's being miyabim Rachel, even when Shimon passes away, Levi can't be miyabim Rachel because she was formerly Reuben's wife, and he encountered her as such. He saw her before the yibum actually took place. Shmamino. This is a solid proof to Rav Papa's shita. Only in this case, Rav Shimon not. So bottom line is like this. We have 4 possible situations with respect to the halacha of Eshes Achav Shlo Yibay Lamei. In one case, all agree it's Asr. Reuven passes away, and then Shimon is born. Of course, Shimon can't be miyabim Rachel Eshes Reuven. He never saw Reuven. That's clear cut. In the case where Shimon actually was miyabim and then Levi was born, or Reuven passes away, Levi is born, and then Shimon was miyabim. What happens there? According to Chacham, in all cases, Rachel is still considered Reuven's wife, and Levi cannot be miyabim. According to Reb Shimon, there's a heter. in which case is Reb Shimon matter. So if Shimon is miyabim, and then Levi is born, according to Reb Shimon, Levi treats her as Eisha Shimon, and he could be miyabim when Shimon passes away. But if Levi is born and then Shimon is miyabim, even in this case, says Rabbi Yehuda, Levi treats her as Eisha Shimon because Zika Keknus, the fact that she was bound to him is considered a connection. She's Shimon's wife, and when Shimon passes away, he can do the Yibam. According to Rav Papa, and that's the Maskanas HaGemara. In this case, even Rav Shimon would say it's Asur because he saw her stranded. He identified her as Eishas Ruvain. And therefore, she's considered Leihaya Bailami. Omar Mara, let's just go back to the Bryce. In clause number 1, we had no mamar being done. But the Bryce says like this. Omar Hasheni Lasas Mamar B'Yivimtei. Shimon wanted to do mamar to Rachel the Yevamos. Lehispek Lasas Mamar B'Yivimtei, but he didn't get a chance to do it until Levi was born. Umeis, and Shimon passes away. What's the halacha? Rachel wasn't really connected to Shimon, therefore Levi can't do Yibam to her. Rachel is considered Lehi as per Levi. Ushnia and Leah, who is Shimon's own wife, is a proper Yevama. That's the price. Why are we presenting it in such an interesting way? He wanted to do Mamar, he didn't get a chance to do Mamar. My Hispik, he wanted to do, he didn't get a chance. If he did the Mamar, Avad, he did. If he didn't get a chance to do, he didn't do it. What's the deeper meaning? Ella, rather, Amad means midata. He wanted to do it with her consent. He didn't get around to doing it that way. He didn't convince her. Ella Ba'al he did it against her will. And it doesn't work. Mamar cannot be done against the will of the Yevamos. Like a Rebbe, this is not consistent with Rebbe, who holds it to be an effective Mamar. The Sanya, we have a machlekes, so Isa Mamar b'Yivim Teshlei Midata, if you do Mamar against her will, Rabbi Amir Kana, according to Rebbe it works. The Chacham Leikana, according to Chacham it doesn't. Why? My time of the Rebbe. Why is Rebbe allowing it? Gomer Mebiyah the Yevama. He equates it to the Biyah with Yevama. Just like over there, Ma Biyah the Yevama Ba'al Karcha, over there works against her will. We learn from a pasuk that it's effective Af Kedushin the Yevama Ba'al Karcha. Likewise, Mamar, which is a sort of Kedushin version of the Yevama, also works Ba'al Karcha. Rabbanan Gamra Kedushin Dalma. Rabbanan prefer to connect Mamar, which is a Kedushin per Yevama, from the general Kedushin. And we say Ma Kedushin Da'alma Medat, just like typically Kedushin. It has to be with the consent of the Isha, otherwise it doesn't work. Av Kedushin the Yevama Medat here as well, even though the Yevama has to be done with her consent. What's the deeper meaning behind the Machlekes? Why I prefer this or that? Very simple. Mar Savar, according to Rebbe, he holds Mila the Yevama. Mila the Yevama, Havalela Melech. We have two components by Yevama, two ways of acquiring the Yevama. Bia and Mamar. We learn one from the other. Just like Bia works Ba'al Karcha, Mamar as well. So we stay in-house, so to speak. Umar Sava, what does Rabbanan hold? No. Mila de Kedushin. Mila de Kedushin, Havalil Melech. We're going to learn the Mamar, which is a version of Kedushin by Yevama, from the standard, typical Kedushin of a regular Isha. Just like over there, it has to be done Midata here as well. Okay, so we addressed that part of the Brisa. Let's move on to the next part of the Bryce. We're just going to go back and elaborate on a couple of points in the Bryce. We had in the middle case, Asaba Mamar. Reuben passes away. Shimon did Mamar to Rachel, Reuben's wife. And then Levi is born. Or Levi is born before the Mamar. And then he did the Mamar of Achach Asaba Mamar. And then Shimon passes away. Rishina, the first Yevama, Rachel, Reuben's former wife. She's disqualified from marrying Levi, because Levi and Reuben never interacted. Ushnia and Leah, who is Shimon's own personal veteran wife, can't have Yibum because there was some sort of new arrival in that family, Rachel, who did Mamar with Shimon. So she affects Leah because Rachel is Erva, to Levi. So you can't do Yibum. Even with Leah, you have to do Chalitz. Because Mamar creates that partial connection, and she has one foot into the family, so to speak. Reb Shimon disagrees. He says, look, Mamar is either all or nothing. Either she's fully connected, fully integrated, in which case Rachel is no longer considered an Eishes Achav Shlei B'Olam to Levi because she's part of Shimon's household, who Levi saw, or she's totally out of the household, and she's part of Reuben's household, in which case Levi's not Leah, Shimon's own personal life is not affected. As we explained earlier, Shimon Aimer bi'asa, chalitzasa, shla'achas men pater sarasa, do chalitza obia to Leah, specifically to Leah, it's going to exempt Rachel. Okay, that's the Bryce. Let's try to analyze Reb Shimon's words. Reb Shimon ahaykai, which case is Reb Shimon speaking about? Is it on the case where Levi was first born, and then Shimon did mamar to Rachel, Reuben's wife? In this case, it's pashut that Rachel is not part of the picture. Rachel to Levi is Eishes Achiv Shlahei Beilamai, as we concluded before, because if there was a Noilad and then Shimon did something to Rachel, Levi treats her as Eishes Reuben. Haven't you just concluded that Ben Noilad, when Levi is born, and then Shimon does something to the Ish of Reuben, Shimon doesn't disagree. He agrees that she's an erva. In which case we have a problem on our hands, because if Rachel is an erva to Levi, and then Shimon does mamar to Rachel, and then Shimon passes away, Rachel is an erva to Levi, so she affects herself and her tzara. How can you do yibum to Leah? Right? Also, Rav Shimon says, if you do bia to Leah, she's pater that tzara. Rachel is pater. She's pater in any case because she's Eishes Achash Lebeilami to Levi. So it can't be referring to that case. Ella, rather, it's going in the following case. A'asaba mamar v'achach noid leach. Reuben passed away, leaving behind Rachel. Shimon did mamar to Rachel, and then Shimon passes away. Oh. So Shimon did mamar. Sorry, one more thing. And then Levi is born, right? So Levi and Shimon saw each other. And then Shimon passes away. Oh. So now, if mamar is a proper integration, a proper kinyan, then Rachel was sort of married to Shimon before Levi arrived. That's okay. Therefore, Shimon says, look, I'm not sure what mamar does, but if it's an effective kinyan, then it puts Rachel into Shimon's household, in which case she's Shimon's wife. And when Shimon passes away, she's royally yibum to Levi. And therefore we say like this: Cholas lebalas mamar, l'nifter tzara. If you do yibum achalitza to Leah, it addresses Leah and Rachel as well. L'tzad, on the chance that Rachel has been fully integrated into the family. Two Yevamos from the same family, you address one, and the other one's pater. But if you do chalitza to Rachel, we're not sure what happens. Leah can't be exempted through that. My time, you know why? I'm not sure what mamar does. It's either all or nothing, either a proper connection or no connection whatsoever. So on the chance that it's not a connection, then she's not part of Shimon's family. My time. And why can't addressing Rachel have an effect on Leah as well? Because Leah is a vadi Yevama when Shimon passes away. She's a bona fide Yevama to Levi. Ubalas mamar safak. We're not sure about the status of Rachel. Rachel, who had the mamar, is sort of questionable. Maybe mamar is not a proper connection, and she's stranded. She wasn't really connected to Shimon by the time Shimon passed away. She's still Reuben's wife, because mamar is not a connection. In which case, to Levi, she's usher, because Levi and Reuben never interacted. A suffix can't exempt a vadai. Right? Rachel is an uncertainty mame. We're not sure if she needs ibum or not. Leah certainly needs ibum. So if you address Leah, you took care of everything. But if you address Rachel, you haven't really addressed Leah. Okay, so that explains Reb Shimon's words in the Bryce. The bottom line is, we have several cases of Eishes Lachav Shlei Be'Lamai, where Reuben passes away and Shimon's born afterwards. He can't be Miyab and Rachel, because Reuben and Shimon never saw each other. If Reuben passes away, and we have Shimon, and then Levi arrives, now we have machlekes. According to the Chachamim, even in that case, that Shimon actually takes over Rachel, Reuben's wife. Levi cannot be miyabim her after Shimon's passing, because Rachel still identifies with Reuben, who he never saw. According to Reb Shimon, it's mutter. In which case is it mutter? So in a case where Shimon was miyabim and then Levi was born, it's certainly mutter. But in a case where Levi was born and then Shimon was miyabim, according to Rav Eshev, in this case it's mutter. According to Rav Papa, and that's Maskonas at the Gemara. In this case it's also because he saw her. He was matzah be'isser. He found her before she was married to Shimon. He has to treat her as Reuven's wife, and therefore, because him and Reuven never saw each other. We actually discussed another interesting shayla regarding mamar. According to Chacham, it's a somewhat of a partial connection. According to Rav Shimon, no, it's either all or nothing. And then we discussed mamar ba'al karchai. So we know that Yibam works ba'al karchai. Kedushin by regular isha does not work ba'al karcha. What about mamar? The machlek is according to Chachamim, we connect it to regular kedushin. Doesn't work ba'al karcha. According to the Rebbe, we equate it with bi of Yevamos, and mamar will work even ba'al karcha. All the best to you and much hatzlach.